By opening the scaffolding components list page through the left-hand menu section Items in Warehouse, we will see that quantities of components are entered in this list. When we enter the data page of the relevant component, we can see which client and which object and how much of this component has been rented. From this page, by clicking on the client name or the client object name, we can access the relevant page. We go to the client object page, which opens in the separate tab, so different application pages can be opened simultaneously in different tabs of the browser window or in different windows. From the client's object page, we go to the scaffolding component changes page in the client object. From this page, by clicking on the component name, we can open the warehouse data viewing page for this component in a separate window. The scaffolding component changes in the client object page has a blue button Accept from Object. Clicking this button opens the page for forming an act of returning scaffolding components from the client object. The header of this page shows for which client and client object the return act will be generated, and what is the total quantity of rented components currently in that object. On this page, we can set the act number, date, select the quantities of returned components, and after calculating how many components are returned in total, generate the return act. Also, from this page, by pressing the appropriate buttons, we can go to the pages of the client's object and scaffolding components changes in the client's object. In the client code object number field, the program enters the client code which is determined on the client data page and the serial number of the client object in the client object list, which the program calculates and assigns to the object when adding the data of that object to the database. This field is for informational purposes only. The data in it cannot be changed. In the act number field, the program enters 1 if no return acts have been generated for this object before, and in the case where return acts have already been generated, the number following the highest existing return act number. This field can be edited, but the program checks that it is not empty, that a number is entered in it, and that this number does not exceed the maximum allowed number of this type of act, 255, and that there is no previously formed number of a return act in this object. In case of discrepancies, the program stops the formation of the act and displays a message with the relevant information. In the date field, the program writes the current date. This field can be edited, but the program checks that it is not empty and that a date is entered in it. In case of discrepancies, the program stops the formation of the act and displays a message with the relevant information. In the table containing the list of components transferred to the client's object, in the returns PCS column, we need to select the quantities of scaffolding components that will be returned. When the page opens, the returned quantity of all components in this column is set to 0. Quantities are selected from a drop-down list containing integers from 0 to the balance of the relevant component in the client's object at the time of formation of the return act. If the Form a Document button is clicked after leaving the quantities of all components at 0, the program stops the formation of the act and displays a message with the relevant information. The program also stops the formation of the act and displays a message with the relevant information if, after clicking the Form a Document button, the returned quantity of all components calculated according to the values of the returns PCS column does not correspond to the amount in the total PCS field. If all selected or entered data meet the requirements, then by clicking the Form a Document button, an Excel format return act is formed. By clicking the Changes button, the page for the changes of scaffolding components in this client's objects will open, which will already include a column with the data of the return act just formed. But by opening the Acts list page through the Act Scaffolding Rent section of the left-hand menu, we will see that this list already contains the main data of the return just formed. If we open the Scaffolding Components list page through the Items in Warehouse sections of the left-hand menu, we will see that the quantity of rented components in this list has decreased, and the balance of components in warehouse has increased accordingly.